Dear grateful students, how are you again? Today's lesson is literature, The Wife of Bath's Tale. We're going to complete it. We started it yesterday. We stopped at the point when the knight asked the old woman what women most desire, and she promised to give him the answer, but she asked him to do whatever she asks him after giving him the answer. And he promised by saying, I agree. You remember here? I agree. So then said the crone, the old woman, I dare to guarantee your life is safe. You are not going to be beheaded. I shall make God my claim. Upon my life, the queen will say the same. Show me the very proudest of them all, in costly, over-covered chief or jeweled coal, that dare say no to what I have to teach. No woman will object to what I will tell you. This is the answer. This is the perfect answer. Let us go forward without further speech. And then she crooned her gospel in her ear and told him to be glad and not to fear. Don't worry, I'll give you the answer. You're not going to die. They came to court this night in full array, stood forth and said, O Queen, I've kept my day and kept my word and have my answer ready. There sat the noble matrons, the ladies, and the heady young girls, and widows too, that have the grace of wisdom, all assembled in that place, and there the queen herself was thrown to her to hear. She sat on her chair or throne to hear and judge his answer. Then the knight drew near, and silence was commanded through the hall. Silence, listen to the knight. He will give us the answer to the question. What is the thing that women most desire? The queen then bade the knight to tell them all what thing it is, or it was, that women wanted most. He stood not silent like a beast or post, but gave his answer with the ringing word of a woman's voice, and the assembly heard. My league and ladies in general, my queen and my ladies in general, said he, a woman wants the self-same sovereignty over her husband as over her lover. Any woman wants to, let's say, control or be in charge of or responsible for her husband as over her lover or lover, and master him, control him. This is what women want, desire. He must not be above her. She must be above him, right? That is your greatest wish, whether you kill or spare me. This is the thing you desire most. If you kill me or spare me, leave me alive, please yourself, I wait your will. I'm waiting for your decision. In all the court, not one that shook her head. All the women agreed or contradicted what the knight had. What the women or contradicted what the knight. I got lost. Just a second. So, sitting. Sorry. I was here. Yeah. In all the court, not one shook her head or contradicted what the knight had said. Maid, wife, and widow cried, he saved his life. He saved his life. This means his answer is correct. And on the word up started the old wife, the one the knight saw sitting on the green, the woman who gave him the answer, the old woman, and cried. He stood up and said, Your mercy, sovereign lady queen, my queen, before the court disperses, before the court adjourns, before the court ends, do me right. Please Do me a favor. It was I who told this answer to the knight. It was me who gave him the answer, for which he swore and pledged his honor to it, that the first thing I asked him, he'd do it. He promised to do whatever I asked him after saving his life. So far as it should lie within his might, before this court I ask you then, Sir Knight, what I ask you is, guess what? Uh, to keep your word, keep your promise, and take me for your wife. I want you to marry me. You promised to, or you agreed to my condition. For well, you know that I have saved your life. If this be false, if I am a liar, deny it on your sword. Ah, alas, he said, old lady, by the Lord, I know indeed that such was my behest, but for God's love, think of a new request. Please ask for something else. You are old and poor and ugly. Take all my goods, take all my money, but leave my body free, please. A curse on us, she said. If I agree, no, this is my decision, this is my request. I may be foul, I may be poor and old, yet will not choose to be for all the gold that's bedded in the earth or lies above, less than your wife. I'll be your wife, nay, than your very love. I want to marry you. My love, he said, by heaven, my damnation, this is not my love. Alas, that any of my race and station should ever make so foul a misalliance. Yet, in the end, his pleading and defiance all went for nothing. He was forced to wed. He was forced to marry her. He takes his ancient wife, his ancient, very, very old wife, and goes to bed. He goes home with his ancient wife. Of course, he was upset. He wasn't satisfied with the marriage, but he promised to do whatever she would ask him. Now, peradventure, some may well suspect a lack of care in my sincere eye, or since I neglect to tell of the rejoicings and display made at the feast upon their wedding day. I have but a short answer to let fall. I say there was no joy or feast at all. Of course, there was no feast, there was no celebrating, there was no joy. The husband is upset and the wife is old and ugly. Nothing but heaviness of heart and sorrow on the part of the knight. He married her in private on the morrow. He married her privately the following day, and all day long stayed hidden like an owl. It was such torture that his wife looked foul. She was ugly. Great was the anguish churning in his head. He was very angry. He was very sad. When he and she were piloted to bed, when they went to bed, he wallowed back. He kept back and forth in desperate style. His ancient wife lay smiling all the while. She was smiling at him all the while. At last she said, bless us. If this, my dear, how knights and wives get on together here, is this the case? Are these the laws of good King Arthur's house? Are knights of his oath so contemptuous? Why do you contempt me? Why do you scorn me? Or scorn, sorry. Why are you scornful of me? I am your own beloved and your wife, and I am she indeed that saved your life. Don't forget. And certainly I never did you wrong. I never did anything wrong. Then why this first of rites, so sad, or a song? Why are you, or why do you look that sad? You're carrying on as if you were half-witted. Say, for God's love, what sin have I committed? Tell me what wrong have I done, please. To deserve this punishment. Why are you not smiling at me? I'll put things right if you will tell me how. Why are you angry with me? Put right. She said, I will fix the thing you are angry about. He's angry because she is ugly and old. How can she fix that mistake or error in her character or in her appearance that never can be now? Uh, he denied her answer. Nothing can ever be put right again. You are old. You're old. And so abominably plain. You're plain. You're not beautiful. So poor to start with, and you are poor. So low bred to follow. You are not. You don't belong to a high class like me. It's little wonder if I twist and wallow. God, that my heart would burst within my breast. Is that she answered him? She was. She heard his answer, and she will give him a lesson, the lesson of his life. Is that, said she, the cause of your unrest? Is this the reason? Because I'm old, poor, and ugly? Yes, certainly, he said. And can you wonder? Do you wonder? It's clear. I could set right what you suppose a blunder. What you think is a mistake, I can set it or put it right, or set it right. That's if I care to in a day or two. If I want to do this, I can do this in a day or two. If I were shown more courtesy by you, this was what will happen if you showed me some praise, some love, some smiling. Just now, she said, you spoke of gentle birth. You were born to a rich family, such as descends from ancient wealth and worth. Those who are born rich. If that's the claim you make for gentlemen, if you consider a gentleman a person who is born rich only, such arrogance is hardly worth a hen. You have the mind of a hen. Whoever loves to work for virtuous ends, public and private, and who most intends to do what deeds of gentleness he can, take him to be the greatest gentleman. Christ wills we take our gentleness from him. Christ says we take our gentleman from him, not from a wealth, not from money or ancestry or parents or grandparents, long them, though they bequeath their whole establishment by which we claim to be of high descent. Our fathers cannot make us a bequest. Our father didn't leave us money of all those virtues, or didn't leave us all the virtues that became them best and earned for them the name of gentlemen, but bade us follow them as best we can. Our parents want us to follow them best. Okay, thus we wise poet of the Florentines, Dante, by name Dante Alighieri, a famous poet, has written in these lines, but these are Florentine, sorry, just to rhyme. For such is the opinion Dante launches, seldom arises by these slender branches, prows of men, for it is God no less, wills us to claim of him our gentleness. Yani we get our gentleness from God's mighty, not from the riches of our parents. Save temporal things, temporal things. Money will vanish, money will disappear, beauty will disappear, young age will disappear, you'll become old. If you think you are beautiful, you will be ugly one day, you will die one day, your money will go away one day. And these may hurt and maim. But everyone knows this as well as I, for if gentility were implanted by the natural course of lineage down the line, public or private, could it cease to shine in doing the fair work of gentle deed? No vice or villainy could then bear seen. Take fire and carry it to the darkest house between this kingdom and the Caucasus, the mountains of Caucasus, and shut the doors on it and leave it there. It will burn on, and it will burn as fair as if 10,000 men were there to see. For fire will keep its nature and degree. I can assure you, sir, until it dies. And everything comes to an end. But gentleness, as you will recognize, is not annexed in nature to possessions, to money. Men fail in living up to their professions, but fire never ceases to be fire. Fire will be fire. God knows you'll often find, if you inquire, some lording full of villainy and shame. Some lords are shameful. If you wanted, if you would be esteemed for the mere name of having been by birth a gentleman and stemming from some virtuous noble clan, if you were born to a rich family, and this is what makes you a knight or famous, and do not live yourself by gentle deed, if you don't do something gentle yourself, or take your father's noble code and creed, you are no gentleman. If you just think you are a gentleman because you were born to a rich family, this is not gentlemanly, okay? Or gentlemanly. Though duke or earl, even if you are a duke or earl, vice and bad manners are what make a churl. Gentility is only the noun for bounty that your fathers handed down, quite foreign to your person, not your own. Gentility must come from God alone. So we get our gentility from God. And here we have a question here. According to the old woman, what makes a man a gentleman? It's not his family of birth, but it's by following God. That we are gentle comes to us by grace, and by no means it is bequeathed with place. Reflect how noble, says Valerius, that Tullius, surnamed Stellius, who rose from poverty to nobleness. This was a poor person who became a noble, and read Boethius, Seneca, no less. Thus they express themselves and are agreed. Gentle is he that does a gentle deed. A person is gentle if he does a gentle deed, not because he was born to a rich family. And therefore, my dear husband, I conclude, I end that long lecture, that even if my ancestors were crude, if I were born or if I was born to a poor family, yet God on high, God the Almighty, and so I hope He will, can grant me grace to live in virtue still. Okay, a gentle woman only when beginning to live in virtue, virtue, not vice, virtue, good deeds and good, let's say, yes, good action, and to shrink from sinning, stop or keep away from sinning. As for my poverty, which you reprove, you say, I'm poor. Almighty God Himself, in whom we move, believe, and have our being, chose a life of poverty. She's talking about Jesus Christ, who preferred to live in poverty. And every man or wife, nay, every child can see our heavenly King, God, would never stoop to choose a shameful thing. And God chose poverty, and this is not something shameful, because according to her, God chose it. No shame in poverty if the heart is gay, if the heart is happy, and not sinful. As Seneca and all the learned say, he who accepts his poverty unheard, if you accept your poverty, I'd say is rich, although he lack a shirt. Even if he is, let's say, he is not wearing a shirt and his heart is happy with his poverty, he will be happy. He is rich. As we say in Arabic, al-qana'atu kanzul layl. But truly poor are they who whine and fret, those who complain all the time and covet what they cannot hope to get. And he that having nothing covets not is rich, though you may think he is a sot. True poverty can find a song to sing. Jovinal says, a pleasant little thing. The poor can dance and sing in the relief of having nothing that will tempt a thief. If you are poor, you are not afraid of thieves to come and take your money. Though it will be hateful, poverty is good. A great incentive to a livelihood and a great help to our capacity for wisdom. If accept it patiently. Poverty is, though, wanting in state, a kind of wealth that none culminate. Poverty often when the heart is lowly, okay, brings one to God and teaches what is holy. When you are poor, you seek your God's forgiveness and gives knowledge of oneself an even lens, a glass by which to see a mirror, by which to see one's truest friends. And since it's no offense, if you are a poor, your friends are sincere friends, because if you are rich, maybe they are your friends because they need your money. But if you are poor and they are still your friends, so they are sincere or true friends. Let me be plain, let me be clear. Do not rebuke my poverty again. Do not blame me for my poverty again. I'll stop here. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.